I was in love with this man.
So do you think?
And everybody didn't want to be with me.
No.
So like we fought that from teacher.
I thought you was a good guy.
I was
ball player. Wait a second.
I was a wild boy in high school, man.
Welcome back to another episode of the Love Conquers podcast, where I interview dope couples who are going to be dropping gems on areas of their relationship that you may be struggling in. And this episode is no different. I got another dope couple on the podcast today. But before we get into the gems and dropping the knowledge, like, subscribe, and share. Please support the podcast. So look, I want to introduce Keithan and Keontae. Like, how y'all feeling today?
I'm alright, bro.
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited to interview y'all. And you know what? I'm just gonna let y'all tell the audience who you are, what you do, a little bit about us. A little bit about you.
Yeah, go ahead, sweetie.
Well, I'm Keontae. I am the co-founder and CEO of Candy, which is a social network that allows you to meet and greet virtually with your favorite your favorite celebrities. I'm also a domestic engineer, which is a housewife. So I'm proudly that. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yep, and I'm Keith, and obviously I'm her husband, and happily your husband. And then
Okay.
I practice law.
I did not make him say that.
I practice law full time. Obviously, we run Candy together as well. She runs it, but obviously that's our fourth child or whatever.
Yeah,
the baby. And then I practice law full time, corporate law, merger acquisitions as well. So. We kind of busy, but it's always good when we can make time to do cool things like this.
Yeah, we're parents also. I'm a mommy of 2 little boys.
Yep.
I have an 8-year-old, but we have an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Yep.
Listen, like, wow, right? But I'm glad you said that on the end with the boys, because the purpose of the podcast is to bring real couples, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Real couples who going through real life situations, kids, entrepreneurship, working. Yep. I know the turn up life. I know. We gonna get to that. I know y'all have fun. So I just want to say I appreciate y'all first and foremost for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having us. I'm excited.
Really talk our truth, Like, it's tough. I tell my wife she ain't really the mother to my kids. She ain't really know.
You know what? He can only say that to me. I can never say that to him. You don't have a fucking fit. I'm sorry. Can we curse?
That wouldn't be funny if you said that.
And so let me ask y'all this. Ben, you know what? I want to ask this. I know that like a couple years ago, like before I even thought about the podcast, I reached out to bro on Instagram. I think it was Instagram. And I said, hey, man, like, y'all a dope couple. Like, I just appreciate the content you put out. And this was before the podcast was even thought about. I always would see him post pictures of both of you, like, having fun, enjoying life. And what's interesting about that is, like, you see couples do that, and then they phase out. Like, they look like they having the best life. They're going to get married, kids, and then they just disappear. And the fact that, the consistency did not go away. I was like, whoa, I got to interview this.
Well,
I got to interview this couple.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because we didn't start off like that. Keithan was still an amazing husband, but he was a homebody. And being that we were together so young, we got together when I was 15, he was 17. So we had our ebbs and flows. We evolved together, but he wasn't always as a party animal as he is today. But I think I pulled it out of him.
For sure. And for me, Keontae can tell you this, man. Like, part of the success that I've been able to attain in my life thus far is that, I know when I got a goal, I'm locked in. Mm-hmm. And so, beginning of our relationship, we were young. I'm on the grind. You know what I'm saying? And that's honestly what has always separated me from my peers, is that I was able to lock in when other people couldn't. It's funny, I'm watching this the Legacy documentary on the Lakers, and they at the point on Hulu, and they're talking about Kobe when he was young, and it was like, yo, when everybody was partying and everybody was kicking it, like Kobe was watching film. He was in the gym. And for me, that was my late teens, early 20s was that, like, when everybody else was in the club turning up and being irresponsible. Being young, enjoying themselves.
Right.
I was really in the lab. Like, I adopted my 2 younger brothers when I was, I was 19 years old. I had just turned 19. And so I was a young father of 2 teenage boys. Since I was 19, I was a single father. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to think, I'm playing college football. On top of that, I graduated undergrad in 3 years. And then I'm a single father. Then I go to law school, graduated honors. So like, you know, for me, I was head down on the grind. Like I didn't care about partying or whatever. I just cared about getting to the money. And then when I got there, when I achieved something, then it was like, all right, now we can, you know, I put in the work to relax, to be able to chill.
Whoa, that's a lot. and I'm saying that it's a lot from a good standpoint. So let me ask my question, man. What? Because y'all said so much that I can pull out, you know, to say what makes y'all dope already. But I want to hear it. Like, what makes y'all a dope couple?
Well, I mean,
and do y'all even look at yourselves as a dope couple? Like,
I appreciate our relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we are very true to each other. We're honest, and I think that's what helped us the most. We'll have a sit down and just like hash out our shit, you know, and deal with it, and then the next day start a new, you know, just fresh. And I appreciate that about us. But we also, I think having fun, being friends, that's what makes us dope too. Like, I can just be with Keith and I love my friends, but he's my best friend. Like, we can kick it, and that's something important I don't see often within marriages.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's what makes us dope, that we're friends. We know how to have a good time together. You know, as you evolve through this, like you said, you see relationships fizzle out, you see couples that don't work, and you see people struggling in marriages. But one of the things that I've seen consistent in a lot of couples that don't work out or don't, and everybody has their own things, right? No couple is perfect, but I see the most when people can have fun with each other, man. Like, cause, and I didn't realize, because people used to always tell us, we'd be in the club and people would come up to us and say, hey, y'all look like y'all just like having a good time with each other. It's like, we ain't trying, we ain't putting on for nobody. That's just us. We come to y'all wedding, by the end of the night, you know, my tie gonna be off, we gonna be sweating. That's just us.
Yeah.
And but I didn't realize, like, oh, that's not normal.
It's not as common.
I did not realize that. I didn't realize that wasn't a lot of couples don't know how to have a good time with each other. Where it's like, if the guy want to have a good time, he got to go with his homies.
Exactly.
The girl want to have a good time, she got to go with her girls. And when they together, you like, you acting totally different. You know what I'm saying? You see the dude, you like, bro, you ain't like that when she not around. Or the girls might feel the same way about the girl. Like, you ain't like, you more outgoing, you more fun when he's not around. I think I can speak for all of our friends to say, whether we together or not, we are the same. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this. Now that you know, because you remember, I said earlier, I reached out off the strength of that. Like, man, like they, not just the fun of it, but the fact that y'all looked happy. And I'm like, I see couples hanging out and kicking it, but y'all look happy. And so now that you know that, you know, couples or other people are looking at y'all relationship like that, do y'all do it to inspire a little bit? Or y'all just like, yo, we just doing us?
We really are, bro. And go ahead.
No, I was going to say we just do what we do, honestly. Like, I don't think about how other people see us. I just think about enjoying the moment, really. Like, okay, we outside. Let's have fun.
I guess this is really, you know, I be talking and stuff to some of my guys. I be like, this ain't just for Instagram. It's really how we live. Like, this is really our life. Like, I'm not putting on, like, when I'm on Instagram and showing the 1% of my life or the stuff that we do, like, I'm just giving you the real. I'm not, we ain't setting up the cameras in the ring light and trying to get the right angle. It's like, it's really what we doing. It's really what was on the schedule. We not content creators in that way, right? Like, we like, let's put on this, you know, front for the, no, it's like, this is who we really can have a good time with each other. And I'll be honest, I tell people all the time, I'd rather go out with my wife than not. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just where we at. Like, if my homie's car, I love my guys. We can go kick it. We can have a great time. But if you ask me what I'd rather do, I'd rather you grab your girl, and we all go to the club and kick it. I prefer that, because at the end of the day, when I done had a couple drinks and then the music going, like, I want to grab my wife. I want to dance with my lady. Like, you know, no disrespect to my homies. I love y'all, but I ain't trying to be in there dancing with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the end of the day, that's who I had the most fun with. Again, no disrespect. My homies, I love them to death, but I don't never have more fun with them than I have with her.
You know, and I appreciate you saying that, because I feel that same way about my wife, right? Like, just to have genuine fun with somebody. But we all had to start somewhere. Yeah. Right? And I didn't know this. You know, I've been watching you for a minute. I know you say, you know, you've been married for how long?
6 years. We've been together for 14 almost.
And that's where I was going. Like, 6 years married, 14 years together. Y'all got together when y'all was shorties, though. Yeah. Like, where did y'all get this concept of friendship, of togetherness? Did somebody show y'all this, or, you know, in terms of mentorship, or another family member, because I'm not gonna lie, man, getting together with somebody at 15, 14, that's rare.
It is.
And the rareness is still together.
Yeah, right.
Like that don't.
Yeah, and it's tough, man, because the tough part about it, before I answer your question, is like there's growing pains that happen there, right? And that's what I think people don't understand about younger. Like I think 100% if you can do it young, I think you should, because it's amazing. And I say that, I digress real quick, but it's like I see a lot of people that's single now. I'm like, man, I would hate to be single at this age. Like I'm so happy I hit the lotto early. You know what I'm saying? But my point was that, you know, when you think about like what it takes being, you know, young and having them grow, it's not easy, man, because at some point y'all grow at different times.
So how did y'all get through that? And anybody can answer this, any one of you, because most people don't.
Yeah. And so to answer your question, like it wasn't mentors. It wasn't. No. I think me and her we just fought through this shit together.
We did. I mean, you just choose each other every day. Like, it's not like love is easy. I don't think love is easy. And it's not like the most complicated thing in the world, but it takes work. I don't care what you say. Like, you can be in lust for so long, but to be in a genuine relationship, you know, that lasts for a long time, you have to both put in work.
And I think the key for us, being honest though, is like our puzzle, we each got the pieces that supposed to fit together.
Right.
Like, and I think people don't talk about that enough. It's like, we can take all the credit we want, but the reality of it is, I got this piece, she got this piece, and they just so happen to go together. Like, we just in tune with, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. A lot of people, especially in our generation, don't believe in gender roles. We subscribe to that, right? I didn't have to make her believe in that. I didn't have to convince her to believe in that. Like, she believed this is what a woman is in a marriage. That's what her beliefs are. I believe this is what a man is in a marriage.
So y'all beliefs were the same.
And it just worked, right? It's like, I believe she don't touch no garbage, you don't pump no gas, you don't wash no car, you don't do that. And she believes that, hey, my man don't make his own plate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I pour your drink, like I wash your clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have to sit down and negotiate this. This is just what she wanted. I remember her as a 15-year-old telling me, I want a man. I want a man. Like, at 15, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is what that looks like.
But where did you get that from? Because most people don't know what they want at 15.
Well, you know what? It's so odd because when I was younger, you know, I saw all of my friends have boyfriends and things like that, and I was never really in a rush because I felt like the guys that they were talking to, I didn't feel protected. What was important for me was with Keithan, when I started talking to him, I instantly felt protected. I felt like I could just trust this man, and he has a good head on his shoulders. He was smart, even though I was doing his homework for him. But he was just a good person, and he had goals, and I just felt safe and secure. So it was easy. It's like I know I'm gonna be okay. You know, I can trust in him. And I had, you know, goals and dreams of my own. It's not like I said I was gonna be like this housewife or anything. But I definitely knew like I was gonna be safe and well taken care of with Keithan. So
yeah, I mean, and even in that point, like, you know, even and it's crazy because I don't know if you was gonna get to this, but like a lot of stuff that we did struggle with is you don't realize also how much family has an impact on your relationships as well.
Family, friends,
outside environment.
But that's why because you already threw it up there. Like when you say, you know, you are really, well, I don't know the situation now, but you took in your brothers at 9. You were a dad to them at 19.
Yeah, legally, I'm their father.
And nobody, so you didn't have your dad in your life.
I did have my father in my life. My father, you know, it was a weekend dad. Obviously, I didn't grow up with him in my house every day, but then he passed in 2010. And so, you know, he passed in February 2010. I adopted my brothers in like August of 2010. So, you know, what happened really for us was just when I went to college, man, when I, you know, went to Eastern in 2009, I didn't have running water at my house. And so, you know, and I always dreamed of playing college football.
Was your mom, were you guys living with your mom?
Who I call my grandmother is who I call my mom. My real mother was addicted to drugs, and it wasn't in my life for most of my life. And so when I went to go to college, I didn't have running water. And so I tell people, like, but college football was my dream. So I was living my dream. I was excited, I had money. You know what I mean? Like, people didn't like the dining room. I love the dining room food. I'm like, you mean Tim, I can swipe this card and it's a meal? I got unlimited options. I was in heaven. But I always felt guilty because I was like, my brothers don't got running water at home. They struggling. We out the band. And so while I'm living out my dream, I always had this guilt trip of like, but what about them? And so when I got the chance, one day I came home for the summer after workouts, and I just was like, you know, y'all coming back with me because I wanted them to have that peace and that.
So you brought them back to college?
Yeah, I raised them while I was in college. Yeah.
That's tough, and I'm saying that because that can have a strain on the relationship because y'all didn't even go to the same college.
Right.
I
Yep.
was
She went to.
45 minutes away at U of I.
So how did y'all manage? Like, okay,
It was 45 minutes though, so it's not that tough.
but 45 minutes college student.
Right,
Hold on now.
right.
We on the Love Conquers podcast. We in college.
Yeah, right.
45 minutes away can be
Distance
like
is distance.
that can be like
no
10
question.
hours for somebody.
No question.
And then you took in two boys, two younger brothers.
Yep.
What was the connection that kept y'all together?
For
Like,
me,
it had to be
me
something.
And Keontae, again, like I said, bro, I can honestly say this. My wife naturally is a submissive person in a relationship. She just jumped in and followed my lead. Like, it wasn't no friction. She, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I needed, she was there. So when I had to go to the game, she would come on Saturday mornings to be with my brothers, make sure they got to my game. They all got to my game together, make sure they ate or whatever needed to happen. She just jumped in. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, like, we just was two puzzle pieces that fit. Like, it just was no friction there. She wanted to be in that role, and I didn't have to force that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she always supported me in a way that I needed. You know what I mean? So like while I'm juggling all this stuff, my brother, single father, college football, and in an engineering background, graduating in 3 years, she is like, what you need. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think, and both of you can answer this, do you think y'all would have survived if that puzzle piece didn't fit like that? Because y'all
100%. I think.
You think y'all still would have survived?
I don't think we would have.
Oh, okay.
I think at the end of the day, like but that's the journey of love, right? It's like, I think everybody's trying to find a puzzle piece.
And I feel like puzzle piece makes it seem like it's so fixed. Like, I feel like we both like evolved and kind of molded a little bit to, be a perfect fit for each other.
Because I'm thinking like that's a gem in itself, in terms of when you finding somebody you love or finding somebody you want to be with for the long haul, to make sure that like y'all matched up. Like you wasn't with nobody and you wasn't with nobody. It was like, I don't really know if he.
Exactly.
And a lot of people get in those type of relationships and then they felt it in the first, like when they first got with the person, first year, first couple months, and then they forced it and then it never worked.
Yep.
No. Like that wasn't us at all.
No.
I was in love with this man.
So do you think?
And everybody didn't want her to be with me.
No. From
So like we fought that from
Why?
teacher.
Yeah, I thought you was a good guy, stand up guy, football
listen,
player. Like wait a second.
Man, no, I was a wild boy in high school.
Hey, come on, man, take a sip on that wild boy, man.
Listen, we keep it 100, man. So look, I was a wild boy in high school. I mean, I was a prototypical jock. Let's just keep it 100. Right?
Okay.
Like high school, good athlete. You know what I'm saying? I was a good student as well. So I had, whatever. I was a normal high school athlete. Mm-hmm. And so, I had a reputation. And then, Keontae transferred to my school, and I was in my senior year. And so I had already been there for a year. I already had a reputation and whatever. And, she was a cheerleader, right? And so, again, she, it's just the world is small in that world, right?
Gotcha.
Athletes, cheerleaders, all that. And so I had a reputation and teachers and all that. And literally, it was teachers that was like, coming to me even like, please, she's a sweetheart, leave her alone.
Wow.
Like teachers legit pulling me aside, like, please, whatever you do, don't mess with her.
So did you, when they were saying that about her, like leave her alone, did you know she was the one though?
I did. 100%.
Like in your mind, you like, I know I had a reputation, whatever, but I know she the one.
I knew she was the 100%. Like I said, I tell people all the time, like partly because like she just was different. Like again, going back to the same thing, like stuff came easy for me, bro. I was an athlete. Like I'm just being honest. I didn't have issues. I didn't have resistance. She was the first one, a woman that I saw personally that had a different level of respect for herself, that moved different. You know what I'm saying? Like she really upheld herself different. I kudos to her mother, her father, her parents for that. You know what I'm saying? Because like she just moved different. It was like, oh, you different.
So when you say kudos to your mom, do you come from a family that your mom and father are married and together?
So I have step parents.
Okay.
So my mom is married, my dad is married.
Okay, but you seen like
and both have been married for 20
you have
years.
seen structure with that.
Yeah, definitely. And then I have some parents that were a little more stern. So
Gotcha.
Naturally, I just wasn't with the stuff that a lot of people was with, in high school.
Were you intentional about like showing him like, yo, I want to be with you? Like, was it like, I'm talking about to this point, like, did you know back then, like, no, I want to have 2 kids with you. Like, I want to be with, I want you to marry me. Did you know that back then?
Like, when I turn 18, we need to go get married.
Really?
She's had a promise ring since she was 16.
Yeah.
Like my wife has always had a ring on her wedding finger since she was 16 years old. And she lost 2 wedding rings.
Wait, we did not have to say that.
If you count the promise rings plus this her third wedding ring, she's had 5 rings.
I lost some cooking twice. So let me
Okay,
just say this.
okay, that's-
Thanksgiving, it was a lot of food and a lot of people in the kitchen. And that one, I really am hurt by losing both of the rings, but that was my first wedding ring. And I was like, dang, I wanted to give it to my daughter-in-law or something. But the second one, I lost cooking too. It's just you grabbing stuff. So now it don't go in the kitchen with me. And I know better.
Gotcha.
So, but my point was, it's cool.
Yeah.
She's had a ring on her ring finger since she was 16 years old. Mm-hmm. Consistently. And I mean, to the point where, like, she used to go, people used to give her shit for it. Like,
Absolutely.
wear it on the other hand.
Absolutely.
Wear it on this. Why you wearing it on your wedding? Like, and she stood in it. I'm telling like, people legit didn't want us to be together because of me. And they was like, yo, young, and she stood by me. And she believed, like, she believed in the vision, which was like, look, it's me and you. Like, we literally wrote, people understand, we wrote out our whole life plan.
We had vision boards before they were vision boards.
Right, like for real.
Like we used to go on the computer, print out cars and rings and houses that we wanted. And it's kind of eerie even talking about it right now because I don't even self-reflect and think like, damn, we did this shit for real. Like, we planned it and we're living it.
Yeah, and I mean, like to the point where we would go to the nice neighborhoods and ride around and look at the houses and just envision that. Like, we really have been intentional about our success in our marriage and in our lives. So, you know, I do think, I always say, like, C1, B1, in order to be success, you got to see success. And it's like, we really have done that for ourselves, man. Like, we was intentional about that. And I know, like I said, we wrote out our whole life.
But let me
in
ask
2010.
you, but like, cause if somebody, you know, watching this, listening to it, they can be like, stop it. And because it sound
Cliche?
No, it sounds dreamy.
Yeah.
Like in terms of
I
like,
get it.
well, how can I get that?
Right.
You know, but I gotta ask you this, and you can, because you have seen, you said C1 B1,
Yeah.
and I love when you say that, but you didn't really see that.
No. And I tell people, and that's a great point. I tell my wife all the time, man, I always wanted to be a husband, though. Like, I remember being a kid watching Home Improvement, Tim the Two-Man Taylor, like watching Home Alone. Like,
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a man. So I never had that structure. I never learned that. I never had a father in my house who was a husband. But when I watched TV, I want
Something
to be like
attracted
that.
you to that.
You feel me? I wanted to learn how to fix stuff. Like, oh, I'm a man. Like, and that's my wife. I'm a man's man. And we're like, because I grew up as a cliche man from TV. And that's just what gravitated. Like, so as a man, I got to know how to fix stuff. So I learned how to use tools. And as a man, I got to wash the car. And I got to take out the garbage. And I got to play football. Like, I learned through TV. I can honestly say that. Like, as a kid, you know, grew up through the 90s or early 2000s, like, TV raised me in that way. Whatever I didn't, and so for me, the imagination of TV helped. It worked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to see it in front of TV and expose myself to worlds and lessons that I didn't have.
But I necessarily didn't want to be a wife. Like, I didn't grow up imagining my wedding like a typical girl I think would or should. But until really I met him, you know, and that's when I got the idea. Like, I don't want to be with anybody else. So the next step is marriage, right? Even seeing my parents married, I didn't think about being a wife. I thought about what career am I going to have, you know, and that wasn't my next step until I met Keith and like, okay, I have to marry him, and then everything else would fall into place.
You know, that's super dope, and that's and deep, you know, because just to sit back and, like you said, reflect on that. Like, everything that y'all wrote out, everything that y'all thought about, like, either y'all will have it or y'all pursuing it and y'all hunting it down. And I think that's, you know, I always say gem alert, but I think a lot of people, they know what they want and then they deviate from it.
Absolutely.
And it's just like a lot of people can miss out on the one they supposed to be with. Like you said, the lotto.
Yeah, bro.
What are the perks of like being a husband and a wife?
To me, man, like, I'm a lover boy. Always been. Like, I'm not meant to be single. Like, you know what I'm saying? Part of that is because I grew up in a big family with a lot of brothers, so I got mommy issues. I can own my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I need love. I have to have love. And that's why I say I'm just thankful that I found the person that I want to love for the rest of my life, right? Because I would be probably a person that was perpetually in relationships, trying to find the right person. I'd be the type of person that probably would be in and out of relationships. I know how I am, right? Because again, when you got mommy issues, you looking for validation. You want a hug, you want a kiss, you want that. And so for me, like I'm just happy that I did find that person in my life because it's nothing better than, man, you come home from a long day, having your person. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing better than, being, like I said, I want to go to the club. Like, I ain't in the club chasing nothing. I got my wife with me. I'm having a good time. We turning up. I'm not in here trying to last call and what's left and the lights came on and who I'm, like, I ain't got to do that. And that just feels peaceful. And also, I got my best friend. Like she said, like, that's the biggest part, right? Like, and I say this all the time. I remember a couple years ago, we was on a family trip and one of your uncle asked me this question. He was like, he was asking something about, why do we think we work or something? And I was like, when I need something, she my homie. And when she needs something, I'm her girl. And he like took off and started laughing, like, you her girl. But, he knew what I meant, right? But like the metaphor is real. And I think that's why we work. Like our relationship, I would say the other thing is we are truly friends. When I say this, like if you hear me call right now and talk to one of my homies, and then you hear me and her banter, it's the same. We don't take it in the same way with me and her. A lot of relationships that don't work, and I get it. It's boundary. Like don't talk to me like this, don't talk to me like this. But for us, we seamless with it because we don't do it when we serious, right? We know the boundaries, like, but when we can play, and I love that. I can treat her the same way I treat my homie. I can talk and be free. So again, I don't need to go to my homies to get that outlet. You know what I'm saying?
What's the benefits of being a wife? Because and this question before you answer, it stems from our generation in terms of, and not to dog our generation because we creating more entrepreneurs than ever before, more independence than ever before, but you are not seeing a lot of people stay in relationships.
Correct.
Like he was in the past. You seeing it's so like turnover. It's so quick.
Yeah.
And I don't know. People say social media. People say options. It's so much in the world today that it's so easy to be like, I know I got her.
Grass is greener.
But I can go over there. I can have that. So like from your perspective, what's the perks? Like what's the benefit?
I think that is a perk that we both are choosing each other. Like, yeah, we know whatever else is out there, but we both want to be in a committed relationship with one another. And like he mentioned, like that's my best friend. I feel comfort. I feel secure. I feel all of the above, like with him. And I don't need to search for anything. Like I literally was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I was just like, I just couldn't imagine myself like physically being with anybody else. Like I don't want anybody else to touch me. Like that's just how I am. Like not that I'm just fixated on Keith, but I honestly don't know life without him, right? Because we've been together since I was so young. And I just feel like that's a perk for me. I enjoy that. I enjoy that he's my first and my only. I enjoy that he's the father of my kids. I enjoy that we have a business and a family together. And I enjoy that he's the one who comes home to me every night, because I don't go to work, but he come home to me.
That's good, but to go back though for a second, I love the fact that y'all could have had so many excuses. Like, we were young when we got together. I had to raise my brothers. Right. We were at separate schools. All these people kept saying stuff about you. Just all this stuff. Like, even now. Yeah. Like, businesses together. Like, you said it earlier. Like, I'm a lawyer. That's demanding.
Yeah.
I'm a mommy of 2. That's demanding. And so, like, through that phase of not having excuses, you still were able to not have excuses and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's what makes our relationship dope. But somebody's struggling out there.
Yeah.
Somebody's really struggling in the fun area. Like they forgot how to have fun, which can sometimes seem like a crazy thing because I'm hearing y'all and y'all say, how can you forget to have fun with your best friend? So where do you think, that gap is? Like, how do you continue to have fun?
I think it's what you said. Like, I do think that sometimes in marriages we compartmentalize our husband or our wife and our friends as separate things, right? And a lot of people, right? Like I said before,
talk about that.
A lot of people, they are different. You have people. We have friends that you kick it with them by themselves. This person's amazing. Yeah. You kick it with them in front of their significant other. They're a little more dry. They're a little bit more uptight. I do think that that's part of the issue. Is like, for us, like I go out with her and her friends, or she come out with me and my friends. Not to say if it's a guy's night or girls' night we go, but if it's, hey, we going out, her friends know that they gotta tell her not to bring me. You know what I'm saying? My homie got to tell me not to bring her. Like, yo, it's only guys, because they know my default ain't just me. My default is me and her rolling. Because again, that's really what I'm trying to do. Like wherever, Vegas, this, that. Like I prefer to come with my wife. Now again, if we want to kick it, we can kick it as guys. No problem with that. But that's my default. And I think what couples can do is like part of it is if one, you got to be friends. Like, and I think that's just if you friends, it makes everything else easier. For us, we just genuinely enjoy each other's company, man.
Oh, can I stop you real quick? I gotta say it. Gym alert, gym alert, gym alert. I say this because you said something earlier that hit me, and I hope people catch that. Like, be the same when you with your wife and when you not with your wife, when you with your husband and when you not with your husband, because that going in and out of personalities, it can stop you from having that fun.
100%.
It will.
Like we see people that we be like, if your husband saw you like this who he want to see.
Right.
This
exactly.
who he trying to kick it with. But you not her when you with him.
Hey,
and vice versa.
I haven't heard that yet, bro. That's good, and I haven't heard that because, and I want you to chime in because I've been interviewing so many couples now, and I'm gonna be honest, the friendship piece, I've been hearing that across, and I'm like, man, that's good. So I'm just taking keys and notes from all my relationships and learning, like I'm learning from y'all right now, and I'm like, okay, key, you gotta be friends. You gotta be friends with your spouse, right?
I want to challenge couples who are having that struggle to, enter into each other's world, invite each other to your world.
Yep.
Like I know many couples who just don't like the same thing, but that's how you build a friendship.
That's so strong.
You do. That's how you build a friendship. You try to take interest in something that they really enjoy, even if you don't. Just try it because that's something that makes them happy. And imagine if you're there with them, they'll be happier doing it with you.
I'm in a barbershop and you hear so many dudes talk about that, and my old lady be tripping because I'm always doing this, I'm always doing that, and the dudes will be like, man, I'll be like, yo, as fellas, we like, well, if she really want to spend time with you, why don't she come do some of this stuff with you? You know what I mean? In the same way, vice versa. It's like we gotta meet each other where we are. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I hate it, but I gotta watch the housewife show. And sometimes she don't like it, but she gotta watch the sports or whatever. She actually likes watching sports, which makes it, again, we just fit, right? But like my point is,
it's a crime show.
You gotta, you're right, the crime shows, the Datelines and all that, right? But like we gotta be in each other's world, bro. And I think part of it that hurts a lot of couples is being so compartmentalized. You over here, you over there. You gotta bring each other in each other's world to really be able to enjoy each other.
That's deep. And I'm just piggybacking off that because I was around a couple with my wife, and I'm not gonna say no names on the podcast, but that person was so dope around us, but then that person was subconscious about their spouse, and I'm like, man, you better open up and be the same because later on down the line, that's gonna break you.
It's the truth.
And and y'all just touched on that heavily. Which is like, just be the same.
Man, if I'm being honest, I think I know more married couples that are that way than not.
Yeah.
Which is like separate?
That's separate. Yeah. I know more married couples that if you get them, each one of them alone, you're going to have a much better time than if you get them together. I know more married, I can honestly definitively say that I know more married couples that are like that than not. And I think if you talk to most of our friends, they won't say the same about us. And I think we are as good of a time, we probably have a better time together than we are separate.
But okay, so I gotta challenge y'all on this because once again, people are struggling in this area, right? When you say you gotta invite each other into each other's worlds, but how do you do that when y'all love each other?
Yep.
But y'all worlds is actually really different. Like, and I know you said it earlier. You said invite them in.
No, we got you on this one.
But like, I'm confused on that. How do you enjoy yourself in a different world?
This is a huge issue for us.
Turning point in our relationship.
Huge turning point.
Okay, talk about it.
Because as I told you, I was an autopilot, bro. I was on the grind.
Okay.
Period. From and everybody will tell you that about me. Like I just always been focused.
Yeah.
So I was in the autopilot even after college when I first started practicing. Like I said, I wasn't trying to go out. I was like Kobe. I wasn't trying to go out. I wasn't trying to kick it. Man, listen. My great weekend was waking up, cutting the grass, watching the cars, watching sports, chilling. Right? Hers was like, yo, I didn't watch the kids all week. I'm trying to go out, dance, listen to, have fun with my friends.
Okay.
And so we was disconnected in that way, but not even in the friction. I was perfectly happy with what I was doing,
and she was
perfectly happy with what she was doing. But I had an issue with what she was doing, and she had an issue with what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So in our individual worlds, we was happy. I ain't need nothing else. I didn't need to go to the club. I ain't need to go out. I was perfectly happy. She was good. Hey, I let her go out. I ain't tripping. Gonna have a good time. But
mind you, were like 22, 23.
Right.
Like we're young.
Right. But in my head, I'm like, yo,
but I'm
going
glad,
out too much.
I'm glad you said that though, because the fact that y'all, whatever you about to go, the fact that you mentioned age, y'all worked on this at a young age.
Yes, we did.
That is hard.
Yep.
So I need you to go hone in on this. Tell me the keys.
I'm about to give it to you. So again, essentially, I'm mad 'cause she going out too much.
Okay.
And she mad 'cause I'm not going out enough. But we both happy individually, right? And what happened was we had to both have that tough conversation to say, look, what, and I remember I asked her this question. I said, what do you need from me to give me what I need from you?
Wait, say that again.
What does she need from me so that she can give me what I need from her? I asked her that question directly. Baby, I said, sweetheart, you're not giving me what I need. So what do you need for me to do different for you so that you can give me what I need in return? Because so much of relationships and marriages is you wait for the other person. You're gonna do your part. You know what you gotta do, but I'm gonna do my part when you do your part.
Yeah.
Like I know I gotta do something different, but as soon as you start being on point, be on point for a minute, then I'm gonna jump in and do my part. When the reality of it is, no, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna do my job. You do your job. And so that was a tough. Trust me, I'm a prideful guy. Probably one of the most vulnerable moments I ever had with any woman in my life, right? Because it takes a lot.
Because you basically came to her like, yo, how can I serve you? What do you need me to do? Like, in order, like you said, for you to serve me. But that's it. Because
I'm the one that's bringing the issue. I'm the one that's addressing the issue in the moment, right? So I'm the one that's hurt. But even as a hurt person, I'm saying,
how can I serve you, basically?
What can I do different for you? Even though I'm hurt, what can I do different for you? And in that moment, she was transparent to me for the first time to say, look, like, she didn't say this, but she said this, right? Like, you kind of living a boring life. Like, it's kind of mundane. She didn't say that at all, but I read through the lines, right? Which was like, all you want to do is you want to be a suburban house dad, and that's it. And I'm 20, 22, 23, like, that ain't what I want to do. I want to go out and have fun. But guess what the disconnect was? People don't have it in the conversation. Guess the solution was simple. I said, I don't have no problem going out, just you never invite me. That's not my natural thing. I don't naturally want to go out. But if you tell me you're going out with your friends, I'm not going to jump on you. I'm not going to invite myself. So I'm like, I didn't have no problem going out, sweetheart, but you always got plans with your girls. I'm never going to be like, one, my natural state is I don't want to go out. So I don't care, go. Two, if you wanted me to go, just ask me, I'll come. But when I hear you like, it's me and this girl and this girl and this girl, I'm not thinking people bringing a man or they not or whatever. I'm like, oh, well, you going to your girls, have a good time. So what happened was she said, this is what I need from you. I said, sweetheart, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. This is what I need. She was like, and I said, what do you need from me in return? She said, I need you to have more fun. I need you to come out more, loosen up a little bit, whatever. I said, bet, no problem. I kid you not. Because this is how the type of dude I am. I'm going to do my part. She'll tell you, a couple months later, I was dragging her out.
I was like, I don't want to go no more. I'm done.
From the point, I went from, I don't ever want to go out. I don't care about the club, none of that. I want to cut the grass. I want to watch the cars. I want to go see sports games. I want to chill. To the point where I'm like, I'm trying to go out. Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I done got off work. It's 8 o'clock. Fuck it, let's keep the night. Let's throw on some clothes. We out. Let's go to this. I'm talking about like Wednesday night, let's go to the strip club.
Yeah, let's go.
It's me. Like, let's go, baby. Put your stuff on. We out. I got the money. I got the ones. We finna go kick it. And she like, whoa. And I'm like, and I'm not putting on. I really was enjoying myself. But again, just like my mama always said this when I was young. She said, you a chameleon. She's like, you could be good in whatever situation you in. That's just how you are. And that's why, like, when I was in grind mode, I was perfectly happy with grind mode. That's just part of me being a kid that come from not having shit, right? Part of that is you adapt. You learn how to be happy with your circumstances, right? Because if you don't, you'll always be in a state of pissed off, right? If you don't learn to be comfortable in that one bedroom apartment with rats and roaches, whatever, you can always, every day you're going to wake up be miserable. You're going to be depressed. So you learn to be happy like, man, I don't care about that. Kick your feet, let the roaches roll away, and you go about your day. And so when it was time to grind, I was in grind mode. I was happy. When it was time, okay, this is what you need from me, baby, to do what I need you to do, cool. Let's go. And I was with it, and I was in it. And that for us was the turning point in our marriage. It was like,
And that was what, 2017.
So
Yeah.
how did like he broke that down very well. How did that make you feel though when he brought the conversation to you?
Well, I don't like confrontation. So when he brought it to me, I was like, okay, this ain't gonna be good. You know, like naturally I'm defensive, but
Yeah.
when he said those words, you know, what is it that you need from me so I can get what I need from you, basically. That was just different.
It
right?
was
So
different.
it was a different approach, and I was more receptive to it. And honestly, like I was asking him to do something different, right? This is kind of drastic for him because he's this man who's coming home. I mean, good man, still good man. But it was just like, we are young. Like,
Yeah.
I want to travel. I want to do this. Like, I don't want to just be in the house all day. I'm already in the house taking care of my oldest at that point. So, you know, I was happy that he felt comfortable to be in that vulnerable state because I know it's hard for men to even speak like that, to even be open about how they feel and their emotions versus just leave or, you know, do something like that. So I was happy that he brought it to me, and I was happy that we were able to continue to work it and fight through this.
Listen, I'm going to take so many gems out of that, right? You know, the art of communication, to know that, like, yo, I'm not going to come to you like, yo, I need you to do this. I need you to do that right now. This is how I want it. No. How can I serve you?
but to interrupt you real quick, it comes from growth. We
Right.
both have tried that 1,000 times.
That's true.
Right? I'll be honest, like, that was me at my wit's end. Right? That was me at my, like, what's the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That was me at my end of like, I done tried this same way 700 times.
But
It ain't working.
But
I gotta come at this problem different.
But I still gotta commend you, you know, because divorce rate is high.
Oh,
you
of
know,
course.
we already just said people in and out of relationships.
Yep.
Even worse, people in relationships and they miserable.
Man.
Miserable. Every day miserable, right? And so I say that to say,
Yeah,
because
appreciate it.
in the insanity part, people are
They
still
doing it.
they still doing it.
They still doing it.
And they at they last.
They still doing it.
And so, you know, but maybe they're not even thinking about this option.
And one thing we always told each other is this: I just don't want nobody to know nothing about my wife that I don't know, and I don't want nobody to know nothing about me that she don't know. We stand on that, right? Like we done been in a room with couples where we know something about the man or the woman that the other spouse don't even know. You know what I'm saying? That hurts. That's like I feel for people like that. Like, man, this didn't happen and you don't even know it. This
Like y'all
happened-
know something about your homie wife.
that she don't even know, he don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it wouldn't be my homie, right? Because I'm always going to tell, but you get my point, right? But like, it's to the point where I always tell, like, we always got to be able to tell each other. And you know what happens? You in this field, a lot of times what happens is I'm going to go in the barbershop, I'm going to go to the pool, tell my homies, I'm going to tell them all my gripes and my grievances. But I ain't going to tell my lady.
Yeah.
Or the lady going to do the same. You know what I'm saying? And I done straight told you for like, but do they know?
Right.
Because you can't expect but again, it's human nature. We all like initiative. Everybody, every couple in the world, you want initiative. You want your partner to know what to do without you saying it. Because we all know it takes some oomph out of it when you gotta say it, right? Again, another gym alert.
Say that.
Gym alert, right? My wife, people know my wife is an introvert. She grew up in a house with a lot of love. As I told you, I grew up in. I have mommy issues. I got five brothers. I got a little sister. Like my mama didn't tuck everybody in at night. And I love you and you so special, right? So I need those validation. One of the most vulnerable moments for me was I had to tell my wife, "You're not affectionate enough for me."
How did you respond to that?
Well, I knew I wasn't. Like, I just naturally am not a touchy-feely person. So I've gotten it from my sisters have told me that before, right? So to hear him say that, I felt bad. But I also knew he did require more because of his past, because of his upbringing.
But, not to even interrupt you if I can. Knowing is one thing, but how did you respond to that? Did you just ask him like, okay, what do you need me to do more? And then you just started doing that thing more?
No, I knew
or was
what
it
he
just
needed.
okay?
Like, you know, like when you talk about affection, you want more of the, you know, the touching, the kiss, the random kisses and hugs.
But that's hard for a lot of people that's not affectionate though. So that's why I asked that from the standpoint of like, was it you just jumped in and was like, okay, I'm just gonna start trying it
I
out.
don't want it to feel like, you know, unauthentic, right? Because you can feel that. oh, you just doing it because I told you to do it.
Gotcha.
Right? So I still did it in my way, but I did it
You was
more. I did it
conscious of
often.
it.
Yeah. So I made sure, like, before I leave, I'm kissing them goodbye and stuff like that. Things that I think he would appreciate.
And then bring it full circle with the initiative thing, right? And this is my point. Most people, and this was it was hard for me to get to that point, bro.
Right.
Like, but most people, you want her to just know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell my homie, bro. She be like, she happy with herself. Like, I have to understand, we different. She happy just being in the room for 3 hours by herself. Like, for me, it's like, yo, come hug me, let's kiss.
Right,
let's
and
ride.
that's the thing. I was an only child for 12 years.
Oh.
So it's not like I don't love
Right.
him. I just never had to love on somebody so much. And until I had my first son, like that's totally different.
Yeah.
And so to finish the point real quick, and we all want that. We all want somebody to read our mind. But we have to have that vulnerable moment where you really say what you need. I have to really say that to my wife, like, I need more affection. As a man, that's hard. Especially as a man, like I said, been a job. I never had that problem in my life until I met my wife. You know what I'm saying? But it's so easy to tell your homies and tell everybody else. What you really got to do, man up or woman up, and tell your partner.
Yeah.
Respectfully, gently, carefully. But you got to let them know how you really feeling. And you can't expect them to read your mind. And guess what? It is going to be awkward. It was awkward, obviously, when yesterday before I said something, it was like this, and then today, now you can kiss me 5 times.
You just gotta embrace
but that's
that.
the process.
Yeah, you gotta embrace
Do I
it.
want change or not?
Yeah.
If I ask you to change, you change. I can't be tripping that it feel a little bit forced and awkward, because guess what? You gotta get through that awkward phase to get it. Just as if you practice any skill, right? When you ain't never did it before, it feel awkward at first until it becomes muscle memory. And so I have to get used to the awkwardness until it became natural.
So this is a very mature conversation, and I gotta ask both of you this question. You said it earlier. I am in this lane, finishing up, my master's program to become a relationship and family therapist. It sounds like, maybe y'all didn't, but have y'all went through any therapies or anything? No. And I asked that question because, so not together,
No.
separately.
So growing up, I went to therapy.
Okay, so you will see the question when I get to it. So this is a mature conversation because I am in the lane of therapy, finishing up to become a relationship and family therapist. And the conversation that y'all having is a high level understanding of what y'all done been through. Not having your mom being raised by yourself with an only child for 12 years. And understanding those nuances is like actually helping y'all relationship because it's making y'all vulnerable. Where did that come from, bro? Where did that come from, sis? That got to come from somewhere because...
It's just like, why not, though? Like, why not have those conversations where you both can grow and evolve?
That's a tough conversation. That sense of awareness, though.
Is it going to hurt you to have that conversation? Or is it going to hurt you even more to ignore whatever is going on and keep going on like this shit is okay?
Say that again.
But...
Say that again, though. I need the people to hear that.
No, seriously. Like, if you're not going to have this conversation, you're going to hurt yourself even more by continuing on as if you can just ignore it.
I think that's so key, though.
That's big.
Gym alert, another one, right?
Hey, y'all dropping them.
Is you cannot, though, you can't be scared to have a tough conversation. My wife would tell you that all the time. And she hates it sometimes.
And I'm not I am so not confrontational. Sometimes I hate it. Like, I can tell his mood when he about to bring some shit up. And I'm just like...
But you cannot be afraid to have difficult conversations. That's where growth happens. And I know in marriages, for the sake of peace, we don't like to have difficult conversations. Now, when I say difficult conversations, I don't mean being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Right?
You just mean bringing it to the table. Like, let's talk
bringing
about
the stuff from under the surface and have those difficult conversations that you've been avoiding so that y'all can work through it. And I would say that I would take some credit for that. Like, I'm not afraid to have a difficult conversation, even if what come out of that might hurt me. You know, even if I might not like what is said, because I understand that. And this is a marathon, man.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I always say this selfishly. Married couples, gym alert. Be selfish to yourself. I don't want contention for my own happiness. It ain't even got nothing to do with her. I don't want to walk around my house mad.
Oh.
You feel me? That's why I want to have a conversation, because I don't even want to be mad. You know how it goes.
Wait, hold on, bro. because you saying that, you spitting right now. Like, you rapping that out. Hold up. You said be selfish to your own happiness.
To my own happiness.
Knowing that, like, yo, I don't want to be mad.
I don't.
So let's get this out.
So I don't gotta be mad.
So I don't gotta be mad.
Because guess what? If we both mad, we walk around. You know how it go. You walk around the house 3-4 days. Y'all act like y'all only talking about the kids, right? Who happy in that?
Look, everybody all clothed.
Ain't nobody
I want to see you walk around some lingerie.
You feel me? Who happy in that,
Yeah.
bro? You sleeping in the kids' bed.
Yeah.
Like, nobody happy in that. So for me, I'm gonna have a difficult conversation for my own happiness. I don't enjoy that. I don't want to fake walk around, act like I don't see you, act like I don't want to talk to you. I want to be normal.
You know, I gotta highlight that, bro, because you know, I'm almost lost for words because that's a hard concept for a lot of people, and you spoke on it, and I get it because you're fearless in that. You spoke on it, and it can come off as easy to do,
Right.
but that's where a lot of people lose their relationships.
But what Keontae said though, she basically said this: you gotta pick your heart.
Yeah,
that's basically what
But that's
Keontae
my
said.
philosophy for myself.
You saying, look,
he says he's being selfish for his own happiness. My thing is, it's gonna be hard tomorrow if we like each other or not. Let's just talk. And I've started coming to him more like when we are upset with each other. Like, okay, what's up? What we doing? You know, I love you. Whatever.
Yeah.
How can we get through this? Because I know tomorrow it can be worse, or we can have had this conversation already, and we're progressing towards just being back to normal.
It's hard if y'all got beef.
Right.
It's hard to have a conversation. Pick your heart. Beef can last unending. You don't know most of the time, man. You have a hard conversation with my wife, bro. No matter how long it lasts, at the end of the day, we good. Mm-hmm. We ain't never had a hash out long ass conversation where at the end of it we was straight, but we wasn't straight.
Right.
Every time we go there, bro, no matter how bad it is, we walk away. Whenever it is, sometimes it'd be 5 o'clock in the morning. We gotta go, and I gotta go to work at 6.
Yep.
But it's good then. Like, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time it be straight because it's like you duke it out, bro. We duke it out. We'll get it out. We come to some type of resolution.
It's like with a brother. Like, look, let's put on the glove
and get it out the way.
We're gonna get it out. We're gonna be good.
And I love you, and you love me, and we good. And I know it's not always like that. We know sometimes you got your bigger fights, your bigger battles. Right. But I promise you, for us, I will say that we don't avoid the tough conversations. And again, I say that for me, I'm selfish. Even when I feel like I'm in the right, sometimes I don't pick that fight. Cause I'm like, do you want to do this? You know, I know the routine. We know you're a married man. You know the next steps. I gotta have an attitude, walk around like I don't. She gonna ask me. It's gonna be awkward for 3-4 days.
So why even go through all that?
Right.
For my own selfish.
Yeah.
For my own happiness, I don't.
Which is gonna make the whole situation,
whole vibe off.
It's like a systemic
my
thing.
My kids can feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody know what's going on. The energy ain't right. So for me, I just say sometimes you gotta be selfish. I want to work through that because I don't want to be upset. Sometimes it ain't even about her. I just ain't gonna do it to myself.
You know what? And I gotta say this, and this is probably why you guys, and we didn't. I know you said it earlier, and excuse me, but you did say the candy entrepreneurship. Yeah. I know I said it. You guys on Shark Tank. Congratulations for that.
Appreciate it.
You know, just black excellence. But this is why I can imagine like y'all so successful in terms of business and everything that you guys got going on. Because I heard a millionaire say this. He said, it's gonna be hard either way. Now just pick which.
Pick your heart.
Like you want to be broke and sad and miserable hard, or you want to work hard, put in all this work, and then get this whatever comes out of that. But it's gonna be hard regardless. And so it seems like y'all adopt that in y'all relationship, which is, listen, just pick. It's gonna be hard regardless. If you're gonna be angry and sad all day, or you gonna have a tough conversation, and then whatever comes out of that, you gonna
be straight. And you right, man. So a lot of people don't understand that concept. I had somebody literally ask me for $10, somebody close to me, and they asked me for money for a long time. And I finally was like, man, giving them game. Like, look, here's what you could do so you don't have to ask me for money. And it was like, man, you make it sound so easy, but school ain't for everybody. That I was like, cool. I'm like, but is asking somebody for $10, is that for you? Is that better? Which one's easier for you? Is it easier to have to ask somebody for $10 as a 30-plus-year-old man, or is it easier to maybe try school, right? Because it's like, pick your heart, bro. Like, for me, I just touched it. For me, respectfully, it's harder for me to have to ask somebody I love for $10 in my 30s than try to go to school. Pick your heart. But that's for me. That would be harder for me. That's when people say school ain't for you. That ain't for me. You feel what I'm saying?
So you saying that arguing, that not sleeping with your wife, that not
ain't for me,
talking
bro.
with you going out, that ain't for you.
I'd rather just have a conversation and work through it so we can get back to normal. Because again, I'm selfish in that. I just want to be happy.
And he's a lover boy, as he said it already. Like, he still want to be held and
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't,
Like, hold
I don't
on
want
now.
bad energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, I work a demanding job, bro. Like when I get off work, when I'm done grinding, like I want to come enjoy this. I'm working hard to build this for my family. Mm-hmm. So I want us to always be able to relish in it. You know what I'm saying? Life's too short, man. Like, you know, it's nothing is that serious. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to stand on principle. You got to make your points. But for the most part, I realize a lot of that stuff, man, when you put your pride aside, it's like, I just want to be happy.
You just want to be happy.
I'm choosing my happiness.
Look, this is a dope couple, man. They drop gems throughout the whole entire podcast. Choose your happiness, right? You know, you want to be mad all day or you want to have a hard conversation and then be happy. Put in the work. Just over 14 years in the game, and they said it. It hasn't been easy. Like they talked about the good moments, but it hasn't been easy, right? I want y'all to do me a favor. I was just recapping, right? Because y'all got so much knowledge. I like to play a game at the end. It's really not a game, but I call it a game.
Yep.
It's really something for you to take away. Hopefully, I can give this to you for those rainy days when it's not sunny, when things are raining. I just want you to try this. I just want you to think about this and see if it works for you. So if y'all can just face each other real quick. And so, so when things get rough, like I said, try it. Just try it. So you're going to go back and forth and just say, our unity created this. And you're going to go back and forth.
You blink. I'm sorry.
What?
Our unity created Scotty and Chase.
Nigga, I was going to say that.
We don't go.
Our unity created 14 years of happiness.
Our unity created our family that allows your brother and my mother to be comfortable.
Our unity created damn, it's me.
Shot.
Hey, she lost. Look, she lost. She had to take a shot. Look, this is the Love Conquers podcast. This is what it's all about. Our unity created this moment. I want to just say thank you again. Normally I make whoever lose, they got to do something special for the other person. He made you take a shot, so I'm going to let him pick.
That was enough.
Yeah. So, look, I just want to say.
You got to get the Patreon for this.
Oh, yeah, you got to get the. Look, subscribe to the podcast if y'all thought this was a dope podcast. I appreciate y'all for listening to this, the Love Conquer podcast. And I had another dope couple on, so thank y'all for coming on.
Hey, what my boy Nori say? Make some motherfucking noise.
Hey, we love y'all. We see y'all next week. Let's get it.
Appreciate it.